Today I'm going to show you how to make and use consumables in your rooms. Let's start with what is a consumable. So when I first heard the name consumable, I thought it was just like food in record. And it kind of is, but not really. In the simplest way, consumables can be thought of as temporary power-ups that you can get in somebody's room. And the temporary part is the main difference between consumables and keys. When you buy keys, you buy them one time and they are active forever. Consumables you can buy over and over and over again. Not only that, but keys are active as soon as you purchase them, whereas consumables, you actually have to go into your backpack and activate them individually. Before we start, I just want to give a huge shout out to Swift Ducky. He helped me out a bunch on this. We originally recorded a video and then the audio got messed up, so I had to re-record it. So let's start off by making a consumable. First, open your watch. Go to this room, go to settings, and on the top hit consumables. Here you will see a list of all current consumables in your room, and if you need to make one, just hit add consumable. Now give your consumable a name. For this one, I'll just give flying to somebody for 30 seconds. So I'll call it 30-second flying. Then give it some description. Now you can hit add image to add a photo to it. I'm just gonna leave this blank for now. Next, we'll determine how much the consumable costs. We can have it cost tokens or in-game currency if you've made any. However, if you do want it to cost tokens, you do have to be a Rec Room Plus subscriber. For our example, I'll use tokens, and let's see, how many subscribers are we up to? I think 9,240. Look, we're so close to the limit there. Once you've got everything filled out, then hit save. Now I'm going to make two more consumables, one that gives the player a shotgun and a third one that turns the sky red only for that player. Now there are two ways that people can buy consumables. The first way is with a consumable store button, and the second way is with a storefront. Both of them are fairly easy to use. Just spawn them in and configure them to be the current consumable you want to show. So today I'm going to show you how to do all three of these. We've got give them flying for 30 seconds, we have give them a shotgun for a certain amount of time, and then we have change the sky to red for them for a certain amount of time. But all of them start off the same way with kind of the main consumable circuits. So to start off, we need an event receiver, and we're going to configure it to be consumable used. Next up, we'll need a consumable constant, and we'll put it right there underneath the event receiver. Go ahead and configure the consumable constant to output the specific consumable. For us, the first one is the 30 seconds fly. Next, we need an equal chip. You're going to wire the consumable output from the event receiver to the A input of the equals, and you're going to wire the consumable output of the constant to the B on the equals. Next up, we need an if chip, and we are going to hook up the bool variable from the equals to the bool variable on the if chip. Then we're going to hook up the execution from the event receiver to the top of the if chip. Then we're going to need a consumable activate. Go ahead and hook the then output to the consumable activate, and then we're going to hook up the consumable constant to the consumable input on the consumable activate. So far what we've made here is a system that basically detects when this consumable signal that comes out equals the 30-second flying consumable. And then if it does equal that consumable, it then activates it. But now we need to add the option for our other two consumables. So what we're going to do is select these four chips: the consumable constant, the equals, the if, and the consumable activate. Then we're going to clone them, drag down one. We're going to wire the consumable output from the event receiver to the A, again on the new equals. We're going to configure the second consumable constant to be our second consumable, which for us is the shotgun. We're going to wire the else output from the first if chip to the input of the if chip. Now, depending on how many consumables you have will determine how many of these four chip pairs that you have, or rather 5, but we'll get to that later. So because we only have 3, I'm going to clone this and do that one more time. So now we have a system that detects whichever consumable is being used. So if the 30-second one is being used, it will come out here. If the shotgun one is being used, it will come out here. And then if the red sky one is activated, it'll come out on this bottom row. Now, after these consumable activated chips, this is where you want to add in all of your circuits for whatever you want each different consumable to do. But before we go through all that stuff, I need to tell you guys about the consumable deactivate chip. So once you have put everything you want to happen circuits wise after the consumable activate chip, You have to finish by hooking whatever executable to the consumable deactivate chip. If you don't do this, then the item can only be used one time per person per instance of the room. So if you want consumable to be bought and used multiple times as it's intended to do, you have to put this consumable deactivate at the end. So just for example, before we do all the inner stuff, whatever executable you end up with, you're going to hook it up on the consumable deactivate, and then the consumable input here has to be hooked up to that consumable constant of whatever row it's on. So just for example, again, put that one there, and then this one. But we're going to go ahead and fill out all this stuff so that these consumables actually work, and I'll show you. Some of this stuff I've covered in other videos, so I'm probably going to go a little bit faster for this part. But let's start with the 30 seconds of flying. Alright, so for 30 seconds of flying, we are going to make a new roll, so we're going to use a roll chip for that. Then I'm going to configure that roll chip, edit the roll, can fly. We'll give it a really easy name, like just Q. Okay, so then for that, we would need an add roll and a remove roll and a delay. Consumable activate, go to target. Now for the target on these, you're gonna wanna use a get local player. If you want something to only affect the player that has activated the consumable, you're gonna want to get local player. And that get local player will be the target. Then we want to change this value to the name of the new roll, which we did as Q. Then we're gonna hook that up to the delay. We set a delay of 30 seconds. Then after the delay, we'll hook that up to remove roll. It's gonna be the same target, the local player, same value, which was Q. Then as I said, once you get done with your final chip, whatever it is, it has to be hooked up to the deactivate consumable. For the second row, the one that's going to give the player a shotgun, this is actually something that needs to be done in beta. So you're actually gonna have to activate beta in order for this to work. So to start off, let's get a shotgun. Then we're gonna use a equip to dominant hand. Forgot, we gotta configure the shotgun and give it some easy tag. Let's just give it a U. Then we need a get rec room object first with tag. We're gonna configure that tag to be the tag we just gave it, which was U. Then I guess we'll do another 30-second delay, so I'll just clone this one from over here. Then we'll do a unequip, and also I'm gonna do a set position just so nobody else can grab it, and we'll spawn it somewhere way outside the map. Go ahead and move the consumable deactivate over to this side. All right, so let's see, consumable activate hooked up to equipped object. The player is gonna be the local player again. The object to equip is gonna be from this rec room object get first with tag. Force equip, I'm actually not sure what these two do, but I'm just gonna say true for both. Actually, let's do false on steal, because I don't really know what it does, but if that means somebody else can steal it, we don't want other people to be able to steal it. Okay, and then once that's done, we want the 30-second delay. Then after the delay, we want to unequip the object, which is again that object, the shotgun. And then after we unequip it, we want to set the position of that shotgun. Oh, we need a vector create for this. So as I've done previously, I know that in this room specifically, 0, 10, 0 will spawn it on top of the map. So I'm just gonna do that. And then of course, at the end, after everything's done, do the consumable deactivate. And then for this last one here, we're gonna need another new roll. I'm just gonna call it red. All right, and then I can use chips that we've already used before. So let's see, we have the add roll, the delay, and the remove player roll. We're going to clone those and bring them down, wire up the activate to the add player roll and the remove player roll to the deactivate. We're going to configure the values here to be red. Last thing that we're going to need for that is the sky dome. I'm going to configure it. Let's do sky bottom color red and sky top color red. Roll down, we make it exclusive to player roll red. I believe we also need this 0 to be a 1. All right, local player to target. All right, let's test them all out and make sure they work. All right, so we want to buy a 30-second flying. Let's buy that. It's free for me. And then we want to buy a shotgun. Buy that. Then we want to buy a red sky backpack for this room. 30 seconds of flying. Use. 30 seconds later. There we go. Let's do shotgun. Use. There it is. Red sky. Use. Well, Bessie here would sure appreciate if you throw a like on the video and use code RCL1 to help me out here in Rickwood. If you'd like to learn about currencies, watch this video here, and if you'd like to learn about keys, use that video there. RCL man out.
Hey 9%ers, thanks for staying around so long. Make sure to drop an umbrella in the comment section so we knew you stayed for that long. Have a good day.